Have we ever truly contemplated the profound origins of our existence within these sprawling urban centers that we navigate every day? This monumental event, the formation of urban civilizations, represents the 84th most significant occurrence in the entire spectrum of human history. Today, we embark on an exhaustive journey to uncover how humanity transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to the first structured city-states. Witness the birth of architecture, governance, and the complex social fabrics that define our modern global society. The dawn of cities marks a pivotal shift in our collective story, forever changing the trajectory of our species' development. Our investigation begins in the Fertile Crescent, a region characterized by its exceptional agricultural potential and strategic geographical positioning. The unique environmental conditions of this territory provided the essential foundation for sustained population growth and permanent settlements. Gradually, small clusters of dwellings evolved into more permanent communities as humans learned to harness natural resources effectively. These early social arrangements necessitated a higher degree of cooperation, leading to the emergence of primitive leadership hierarchies. The production of agricultural surplus allowed individuals to specialize in crafts other than food production, fostering innovation. Economic complexity increased as specialized markets emerged, creating a demand for standardized measurements and record-keeping systems. To manage this new complexity, early administrators developed sophisticated writing systems, starting with cuneiform inscriptions on clay. In Mesopotamia, we examine architectural marvels like Uruk, where massive ziggurats reach toward the heavens and city walls stretch for miles. In the Indus Valley, we witness the sophistication of urban planning, with gridded streets and advanced drainage systems that rivaled modern engineering. These brick-lined channels and precisely aligned dwellings reflect a high degree of centralized planning and civic management in the ancient world. The Nile Valley reveals the power of centralized authority and the divine status of leadership in the first great territorial states like Memphis. We analyze the social stratification that emerged within these cities, distinguishing between the ruling elite, the priestly class, and the common laborers. Our journey highlights technological innovations of the era, from the development of the potter's wheel to early metallurgical science. Legal codes provided a framework for justice and order in increasingly crowded environments. Defensive fortifications reflected the growing competition for resources and the evidence of warfare. Daily life involved everything from humble food preparation to the rituals of worship that sustained the community. Long-distance trade networks connected these early cities, with reed boats navigating the rivers and donkey caravans traversing the desert sands. The emergence of centralized government allowed for the coordination of massive public works, from irrigation systems to grand religious monuments. Early urbanites faced severe environmental challenges, including prolonged droughts that threatened their primary food sources. Unpredictable river flooding could also devastate these communities, requiring constant innovation in water management and defensive architecture. Modern archaeological discovery allows us to peel back the layers of time and examine the physical evidence of these ancient lives with precision. As city-states expanded into empires, the development of organized military forces became essential for the conquest and defense of territory. The foundations of these first cities provide a silent testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the people who first built our urban world. The residential quarters of ancient Uruk featured narrow streets and dense clusters of sun-dried mud brick houses, reflecting a high population density. In Eridu, we see the very first small temple, a simple mud brick structure that would eventually evolve into the massive ziggurats of later eras. The Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro was a sophisticated public facility, likely used for ritual purification and communal gathering. The grand entrance to the Memphis Palace featured massive stone columns and towering statues of pharaohs, projecting the absolute power of the state. Sumerian libraries contained vast archives of clay tablets, recording everything from legal disputes to epic works of literature and poetry. The bustling harbor on the Euphrates was a hub of international commerce, with ships unloading precious cargo from distant lands. Specialized workshops for copper smelting allowed for the production of durable tools and weapons that revolutionized agriculture and warfare. Early pottery kilns enabled the mass production of standardized ceramic vessels, which were essential for the storage and transport of surplus goods. Religious rituals performed by powerful priests were central to the social and spiritual life of the first urban citizens. Public judicial hearings in the city square ensured that laws were upheld and disputes were resolved through a structured legal process. Physical evidence of ancient conflict is often found in the form of bronze arrowheads embedded within the charred remains of mud brick city walls. Administrative records were essential for managing the vast agricultural surpluses that supported the growing urban populations and elite classes. The construction of monumental ziggurats required the coordinated labor of thousands of workers, hauling massive stone blocks up immense earthen ramps. Maintaining the complex networks of irrigation canals was a constant and vital task for the survival of early Mesopotamian city-states. Imposing city gates served both as defensive fortifications and as regulated entry points for the diverse trade caravans arriving from abroad. The bustling streets of these first cities were melting pots of diverse cultures, where citizens from all walks of life interacted daily. Wealthy elites accumulated vast treasures of gold and precious stones, showcasing the immense economic power concentrated within the city centers. Grand religious festivals brought the entire community together in celebration, featuring musicians, dancers, and elaborate ceremonies in temple courtyards. The transmission of knowledge through formal education ensured that the complex skills of writing and administration were preserved for future generations. Detailed stone maps allowed the ruling administrations to visualize and manage the rapid expansion of their territorial influence across the region. Archaeological finds include meticulously detailed city plans carved into clay tablets, revealing a sophisticated understanding of urban layout and zoning. The sheer scale of early urban construction suggests a massive, well-organized labor force capable of moving millions of cubic feet of material. Ornate cylinder seals carved from precious stones were used to authenticate documents and secure shipments, marking the birth of official administration. Advanced water management systems, including massive stone dams and wooden sluice gates, protected cities from flooding and ensured year-round irrigation. Skilled masons used copper chisels to create elaborate relief carvings on palace walls, chronicling the deeds of kings and the myths of gods. The development of the textile industry saw the rise of specialized weavers, using primitive wooden looms to produce fine fabrics for a growing urban population. Technological advancements in warfare, such as the introduction of the horse-drawn chariot, forever altered the scale and nature of ancient regional conflicts. Early medical practices emerged within city centers, where physicians meticulously combined various herbs and minerals to treat a diverse range of ailments. Natural water sources like the Nile provided a consistent abundance of food, with skilled fishermen utilizing large nets to sustain the city's inhabitants. The flourishing of urban culture was reflected in the arts, with artisans decorating everyday pottery with intricate geometric and symbolic patterns. Exotic materials like lapis lazuli were imported across vast distances to be fashioned into exquisite jewelry for the city's wealthy ruling elite. Managed animal husbandry was integrated into the urban fabric, with livestock being driven through city streets to communal pens for distribution. Sophisticated engineering tools, such as the simple but effective plumb line, ensured the precise verticality and stability of massive mud brick walls. Centralized food distribution networks, including public bakeries, were essential for feeding the dense populations residing within the city's defenses. The transmission of literacy began early, with children learning the basic symbols of their civilization's writing system from experienced scribes. The introduction of the foot-powered potter's wheel revolutionized ceramic production, allowing for greater speed and precision in crafting the essential vessels of urban life. Tall defensive towers with narrow arrow slits provided strategic vantage points, enabling city guards to monitor the vast landscapes beyond the urban perimeter. Skilled navigators utilized simple wooden devices to measure the angles of stars, guiding reed boats through the darkness of the river networks that linked distant cities. A complex administrative hierarchy emerged to manage the massive labor force required for the city's monumental construction projects and infrastructure maintenance. Daily life was deeply intertwined with religion, as citizens regularly brought offerings of food and craft to the grand temples to secure the favor of the gods. The concentration of thousands of people in small areas necessitated the development of early waste management systems, including designated areas for urban disposal. From above, the sheer scale of the first metropolises becomes apparent, with a dense fabric of mud brick buildings and narrow streets stretching toward the horizon. Legal codes were often publicly displayed on massive stone tablets, casting long shadows that reminded every citizen of the state's absolute authority. The scribe's workstation was the nerve center of urban administration, where the daily flow of goods and services was meticulously recorded on clay. Even at dusk, the city's markets remained vibrant hubs of activity, illuminated by flickering torches as merchants negotiated the final trades of the day. Ancient engineers and architects gathered to study complex building plans, using charcoal drawings on stone to coordinate the construction of grand monuments. Palace walls were adorned with vibrant frescoes depicting royal hunts and triumphant battles, serving as powerful visual narratives of the king's prowess. The production of specialized tools, like these heavy-duty woven nets, supported the diverse industries that fueled the city's economic growth and survival. Amidst the grand scale of urban development, the simple joy of childhood remained, with children playing with carved wooden toys in the city's courtyards. The city's defense relied on highly disciplined military units who practiced complex formations and spear tactics to protect the urban perimeter from external threats. Sacred gardens within the temple grounds provided a serene retreat for the priesthood, reflecting the urban civilization's deep reverence for the natural world. The city of Ur stood as a beacon of ancient civilization, its massive ziggurats and formidable walls testifying to the concentrated power and wealth of its rulers. Public forums served as vital arenas for civic discourse, where citizens gathered to listen to orators and participate in the early democratic processes of the city. The apothecary shops of the ancient world were the precursors to modern pharmacies, where specialized knowledge of herbs and oils was used to treat the urban population. Outside the city walls, lush vineyards supported a burgeoning wine industry, demonstrating the advanced agricultural and commercial integration of early urban states. Monumental stone bridges facilitated the movement of people and trade across wide rivers, linking urban centers and strengthening the regional infrastructure. Legal stability was maintained through detailed court records, with scribes painstakingly documenting the testimonies and judgments that governed the urban community. Athletic competitions were central to urban festivals, fostering a sense of community and providing a public stage for the display of physical prowess. The technology of shipbuilding reached new heights as shipwrights utilized sophisticated manual techniques to construct vessels capable of long-distance maritime voyages. As populations grew, cities developed high-density residential quarters, featuring multi-story mud brick apartments that maximized the limited space within the defensive perimeter. Personal adornment and luxury goods, such as intricately carved bronze mirrors, became symbols of status and refined taste among the urban elite. Technological breakthroughs continued in dusty workshops, where the roaring fires of clay furnaces melted copper, fueling the first true industrial economy. The arts flourished within these complex societies, with skilled musicians mastering a variety of instruments to accompany poetry and religious chants. Master engineers continuously planned and refined the city's infrastructure, using detailed maps to optimize the life-giving flow of agricultural water. Centralized governance relied on a steady stream of tribute, with citizens providing surplus goods and labor to support the palace and its grand projects. The backbone of this governance was the scribe's meticulous organization, where every transaction and decree was filed away in vast bureaucratic archives. Within the harsh desert landscapes, the ruling class cultivated lush, vibrant gardens, demonstrating their absolute mastery over the challenging environment. Monumental art also served as political propaganda, with stone reliefs perpetually reminding the populace and visiting dignitaries of the king's supreme authority. The preservation of specialized knowledge required dedicated educational systems where young scribes learned the complexities of writing and administration. Expansive harbors became the lifeblood of international trade, facilitating the exchange of exotic goods and diverse ideas across vast distances. As urban wealth accumulated, the need for security drove technological innovations, such as the invention of complex wooden pin tumbler locks. The spatial organization of early cities often included sprawling cemeteries located just outside the massive defensive walls, reflecting complex burial practices. Vibrant textiles, dyed in rich colors and woven with intricate patterns, became a major export and a visible marker of social status within the city. The synchronization of civic and religious life required accurate timekeeping, leading to the construction of massive stone sundials in temple plazas. As the sun sets on our exploration, we reflect on the incredible journey from small settlements to the complex urban landscapes we inhabit today. The formation of urban civilizations was not merely a change in geography, but a complete transformation of the human experience. Thank you for joining us on this historical odyssey through the birth of the world's first major cities. 구독과 좋아요를 눌러주세요. 감사합니다.